Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Blue, and we are back with another video. I got a lot to talk about this one, so we are going to be very quick, but we are going to go over spell priority for certain mobs, for the mob density in dungeons, and I'm sure you guys are going to like that one. We're going to be talking about how you can be a better feral. There's one tip in particular that I know you guys are not doing, but this is going to help you guys out a lot. Also, some of you guys requested my sim DPS. I'll go ahead and show that for you. I'm going to go ahead and show you some of my key binds. And then for those of you that stay tuned to the end of the video, I got a gift for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. Peace. Alrighty, everyone. This is going to be I'm trying to go through this really quick. We're going to go through the details of spell priorities for certain mobs. I do want to let you guys know, and I'm sorry for getting this video out now and not sooner. I did just want to make sure that I have every single thing accounted for, so I didn't give you guys misinformation. So I am 48 next, so all my Azurite traits are 420 item level, and I do have the BIS Azurite traits, so I have the best head, I have the best chest, and I have an okay shoulders. This isn't the best shoulders, but this is second best. It does have my wild flesh ring. Therefore, all the stats I'm going to give you are accurate. Okay? So, I'm going to give you four rules. Four rules to abide by when we're talking about what you should do in certain situations, the spells. First rule, swipe when you have 3 or more targets. Very easy. That makes our second rule very apparent when I say shred should be done 2 or less targets. So 1 or 2 targets you shred, 3 or more targets you swipe. Next, bite. When should we bite? Bite, our third rule, bite should be used in between primal wraths whenever we have enough time to bite without losing our primal wraths on a target. The last and most controversial rule is rake. When should we be raking? I know a lot of you guys rake like crazy and you love it. I am a lazy raker. Let's just settle at a certain number, and that's going to be 3. You rake 3 targets or less. So let's go into the details, specifics about these. I'm going to bring the numbers out. I'm going to bring the calculator out so we don't have any confusion at all. So you guys are very apparent of what my numbers look like. So my shred damage is averaging 19.2k. Okay? 19, almost 20k. My swipe is 8.2k. So if I swipe at 3 targets, we're over that 19.2k. If I swipe at 2 targets, we're under it. Therefore, swipe should be used at 3 targets, shred at 2 targets. Very simple there. Third rule, we get a little bit more complicated with our rules. Bite. When should we use bite? Well, my bite is about 63k. How does that look up to a Primal Wrath used on 2 targets? Well, Primal Wrath gives us rips. My 1 rip is about 5.7k. A full duration of Primal Wrath is about 7 ticks. So we're looking about almost 40k. On 2 targets, we're looking about almost 80k. Now, some of you guys are very aware that Primal Wrath also comes with an AoE ability itself. Mine does about 8k. So 8k on 1 target, and another 8k on the other target. So Primal Wrath is doing about 95k on 2 targets. This is a very strong target. So you may say, Blue, why would you ever bite when Primal Wrath does so much damage? Well, let's take away the AoE aspect on 2 targets, and we go back to just our rip value. Rip is a very large portion of the damage on Primal Wrath. So you say, well, why do you bite at all? Well, there are some occasions when we Primal Wrath and we cruise through our rotation so fast that we'll Primal Wrath again without any of our dots ticking. So about 80k is a full duration Primal Wrath. Well, what about 5.7? Instead of 7 ticks, what if we only have 4 ticks? 4 ticks on 2 targets. We're only about 45. Our DPS is way low. Okay, but we can say, all right, well, we still have our Primal Wrath AoE, so it's 8 plus another 8. It's about 61. So in that case, at 4 ticks, it would have been better for us, instead of refreshing a Primal Wrath, to bite. We'd get more value out of that. So this rule is up to you. It's not going to happen all the time. You're not going to be biting every other Primal Wrath because it's just not going to happen that way. Your energy resources aren't proc based, you know. We get certain procs that we get new off Gushing Lacerations. We can get a combo point. Off crits, we can get combo points. So it's very different. So, but if you go through your rotation quickly, you Primal Wrath, and you go through rotation quickly again, and you don't want to refresh those bleeds, those rips, because they're not going to fall off for a while, go ahead and bite. That's going to maximize your DPS. Next rule, this is the controversial one, and I am so ready for you guys. This is going to be fun. You guys are going to love this one. So Rake. Rake is a very strong spell. I will not deny that. My Rake is also 5.7k times 7. Also, Rake has 7 procs, right? So around 40k. This is a very powerful spell. Now, I know that if you refresh your Rake, you can get a little bit more ticks. We're not going to be talking about that. We're not going to get that complicated. So about 40k. Remember that. So, when AoE situations with 3 mobs or more, or 3 mobs or less, you know, like I said, 3 mobs, we should be swiping, right? So we either have a choice at 3 mobs, we either swipe or we Rake. Well, let's look at swipe. 8.2k times 3 mobs. 24k. So why would I ever swipe, you know, at 3 targets? Instead, you know, so why would I ever choose swipe over Rake at this point? Well, we don't. We want to Rake. We want to get, if you can get a full duration of Rake, this will do more damage, obviously. The 40k is much higher than that. Well, now let's look at 4 mobs. I told you not to Rake at 4 mobs. So 8.2k times 4. That's still not 40k. So why would I ever tell you to swipe at 4 mobs instead of Rake? Well, let's look at one more thing first. 8.2k at 5 mobs. Okay, now we have our winner. So we know at 5 mobs, Rake is doing less damage. So we should definitely not Rake at 5 mobs. But why did I tell you 3 mobs when actually Rake does more damage at 4 mobs? Well, this is very simple. We need to go ahead and look at our passives. A lot of us forget about our passive abilities. So let's go here and look at Primal Fury. When you critical strike with an attack that generates a combo point, you gain an additional combo point. Okay. Damage over time cannot trigger this effect. That is the key. So when I'm attacking a mob, and for some reason I have Brutal Slash on, when I'm attacking a mob, when I choose to Rake that mob, I only have a 27% chance to critical strike. 27% chance to get another combo point. But if instead, I'm just going to get rid of this really quickly. Okay. Alright. But if instead I swipe, now that 27% chance is increased by the number of mobs that are around me. Okay? So at 4 mobs, if I would Rake at 4 mobs, I'm losing 3 times the possibility, 3 times more, 27% times 3 more mobs to critically strike. Does that make sense? If I Rake, each Rake on each certain mob has a chance to proc that 27%. But if I'm, or each swipe. But if I'm Raking only, I only have 1 opportunity to get that extra combo point. Therefore, I decrease the number by 1. So instead of 4, I decrease it by 1 because 4 targets gives me a higher chance to get an additional combo point. Now, there is no value number on combo points, but I value that highly. I value that extra combo point very highly because my Primal Wrath or my finishing moves do a lot of damage. If you remember, my Primal Wrath damage per tick is the same as Rake, except Primal Wrath ticks come with an additional AoE ability, which is 8k, and it spreads to multiple targets, right? So I kind of want to get that out really quickly. I want to get through the rotation really quickly. So that is why I choose to Rake 3 targets or less and not over that 3 targets. I would rather swipe over that 3 targets. It's a DPS loss, but I have a higher chance of getting more combo points, which in the end is a DPS increase. Alrighty, you guys. Now we're going to go over one of the things that I feel like we are probably not doing as well, and that we can definitely do better on is regrowth. As ferals, we do have the ability to regrowth. Regrowth does about 10% heals, on a target, and we can do a regrowth about once every 5 seconds or 8 seconds. This is a lot of healing we can do, and a lot of us wasted on ourselves. Okay, and this is just like such a strong thing that we can bring to a party and to a Mythic Plus dungeon is healing the tank, or using that heal on somebody that gets hit by something, healing the healer when he's low, instead of just healing ourselves. A lot of us think, like, oh, I got to just press this regrowth button and I'm gonna heal myself. Like, we have the ability in our kit to just like automatically heal something. Like, no other classes really have that ability if they're not a healer to just like, passively heal people. We have the ability in our kit to be the best healing DPS, or to be the best, well, yeah, healing DPS there is. Like, nobody should out heal us as the DPS class. It should be the healer doing the most healing, it should be the tank, and then it should be us. Like, there should be nobody else competing. There are cases when, like, a demon hunter, they can put his darkness down, and that may do a lot of healing, but out of the entire dungeon, Feral should be doing a lot of healing, a lot more than we are doing. And some of you guys think like, well, I just regrowth myself, and don't worry, everybody does it. I understand. Um, but you can think like, oh well, regrowth also has like a hot, so it's not that bad. I don't feel as guilty healing myself because if I take damage, the hot will help heal me, right? And that's incorrect. The only reason Regrowth has a hot is because Resto Druids needs hot. It's part of their masteries. The more hots they have, the more their hots do. Regrowth, all Regrowth is, it's kind of like a chunk heal. And the hot does like no heals at all. The hot is just so minimal, it's nothing. It's just a chunk heal that we can do about every 5 to 8 seconds. We can really help out a dungeon. The way the dungeon goes, how smoothly the dungeon goes, if you do it. What I would suggest is definitely download some kind of healing add-on and get used to it. Try to take, even like if you really struggle at it, take the regrowth off your spell, off your bars, and just use it on your new healing meters. Make it in a convenient spot, and then just whenever you need a regrowth, just click on a character on the party that's lowest, and then go ahead and proceed. So this is definitely going to help you guys out. It's definitely going to help us out as well as a community, because I see a lot of times in people's videos, they're like saying like, oh, what a DPS class is, and like when they speak about Feral, they're saying just how it's so irrelevant. It doesn't help. And it's just like, this is a big portion we can do. A lot of people think boomkins are really good healers. We could probably out heal boomkin because boomkins aren't regrowthing a lot. They can have that passive for resto affinity, but I'm thinking we can outdo that just in our regrowths, you guys. So we'll test it out. Hopefully we can get better at this together. Practice makes perfect, you guys, but this is something we can improve on. All right, and for those of you that may be interested, I'll go ahead and here are my logs. So my single target damage is 26.6k with a critical strike and mastery pretty high, very relevant. And we'll go ahead and open up this if you guys are really interested in looking. I'll just scroll through here really quickly if you guys want to see anything. All right, and there it is. I know a few of you guys had some questions. You said, hey, can you go ahead? What's your single target damage looking like? So here this is. Okay, that really scrolls down there, doesn't it? Okay, and something else really quickly, we'll just go over it, is some of you guys were asking about my keybinds. So on my keybinds, I'm a little bit different. I don't like doing my numbers. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know some of you guys just spam that. So my W is walking forward, my D and my A move and back, right? So when I start playing WoW, I like everything around these movements. Okay, so my Q is around my W, my E is an ability, my R is an ability, my T is ability, and then that stops. I stop at T. And then I go down, I have a G, I have an F abilities, and then that pretty much stops there, and then I also have 1, 2. Okay? The rest, my combo point finishers, other than my Primal Wrath, which is on my 1 key. I can hit that easily from still moving, walking around. So my finisher moves, my up, my mouse up
I need to target
is my rip,
first.
my mouse
I do not
down
have a target.
is my bite. Okay?
I
And then my
require
mouse,
a
like when I
target.
click my
I
mouse
need to
in,
target
it's
something
my
first. I must get closer.
lunge ability. Okay? Now, the ones down here, I have 1, 2, 3. I actually have 6 mouse buttons on my mouse. So these are all related to my mouse buttons. Even though this says 3, it's actually a mouse button. So those are my key buttons for some of you guys that were wondering. Alright, you guys, and last up, this one is going to be for you guys. That was it. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. For those of you that watched the entire thing, thank you so much. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of extra gift, but no joke, I really do appreciate you guys' support. The channel has been doing really well, and I appreciate your comments. You know, you guys are really awesome with your support. I wanted to give back to the community, and something that I thought I could do to do such is my weak auras. I know a lot of you guys really like the weak auras, and you know, a lot of you guys that are new to the channel, you come and ask, you're like, oh wow, that's, you know, really cool weak aura. You know, what is the weak aura? And well, I mean, here is my weak aura here. This is my feral weak aura. I use this all the time. It's the screen's dull. That's because my berserk. Um, but I understand that some of you guys, this isn't going to work for some of you guys. You know, some of you guys have something already set up, and you don't really want to go in and change this. What I'm going to do for you guys, and I appreciate your support, is I'm going to pick one person. Um, Go ahead and leave a comment. Say, hey, you know, Blue, I have an idea. I have an idea for a weak aura. Give me all the details you can. I will be picking one person, and I will be making you a weak aura that fits you best. What I'll be doing also is I'll be making a video for this new weak auras, and hopefully if it works for you, it will work for somebody else. I'm aware that this isn't going to work for everybody, but I do want to help you guys. It is very important to have a good system that works for you, and I'm going to try to give back, and I'm going to try to create that for you. But I thank you again for watching the entire video. Go ahead, leave those comments, leave those ideas, and I will pick somebody's idea, and I will create their weak aura for them, their feral weak aura. But that's it, you guys. Thank you so much. Take it easy. Peace.